home sales, they're way up, surging 18% in August. So why are some realtors still down? Now, it might be the fact that existing homes took a bit of a hit in August and that new home construction, a sign of future activity, plunged by double digits. So what are we to make of these hiccups? To real estate gurus Brendan DeSimone and Kendra Todd. Kendra, what do you make of this?
Well, I think it's natural for people to be nervous, Neil, because the last 12 years have been a wild ride. I mean, it's been a big boom and bust cycle that's been wholly unpredictable. But I actually think that this pause in the market is really good news because the recovery happened very quickly over a short period of time, about 2 years, and now it's taking a breather. So it's understandable that there's some buyer fatigue, but what we're going to see in the future is just home prices increasing at more moderate and healthy levels.
I thought they've already been at a moderate level.
I totally agree with her. Well, last year, no, they were up 12, 14, 20% in some parts of the country. People came out of the gates for this recovery. It was crazy. So now we're back to kind of a slow and steady wins and race.
But for much of the country, we're still down from what we were pre-meltdown, right?
Most of the country, but places like the West Coast, the Bay Area, Seattle, those parts of the country are just going haywire still. It's really market by market these days.
All right, so if that is the case, Kendra, what markets look promising or more resistant to what's going on here and what don't?
Yeah, you know, Brendan's right. Whenever you can start talking about real estate on a regional basis, you know that the markets are healthier. And right now he's right. There's about 20 major metropolitan markets that are just screaming. I mean, right here in Seattle, we've got double-digit appreciation. We've got bidding wars. But I think that areas
But isn't everyone a millionaire in Seattle? I mean, they're all like .com gazillionaires. I mean, is that even real? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't see one in this room. But
all right, well, look what she said. What she said is something interesting, Brandon. It is a market by market, to your earlier point as well. Yeah. But there are a lot of people in what used to be the ground zero markets. I'm talking about Vegas, Florida, much of the West Coast. They seem to be coming back. So someone is not.
Well, you know, those markets were full of investors, hedge funds, cash buyers. Those guys have left the market. So, of course, there's a change in that market. The number of sales is absolutely down. The increase in value is down as well. You're not going to see those crazy increases. And those markets are definitely slowing down. The East Coast and the Northeast, it's a much slower market. Things aren't moving as fast. Things aren't selling over the asking price.
And you were telling me earlier, young people aren't into this.
Yeah, right? I think the whole millennial buyer is still sort of unknown. People think they're going to want to be buyers. I think there's a nation of renters going forward. I think it's
what is going on there, Kendra? Because I have a lot of these young people on my show, and they just say, been there, seen my parents burned by that. All variations of the same story. Very cautious.
Yeah, there's a really interesting thing going on with the younger generation right now. I mean, yes, people are licking their wounds, but there are statistics that show that younger people are staying at home longer, living at home longer. So they're kind of leaving the nest a little bit later in life, and so they're not pulling the trigger quite as quickly as a new home buyer demographic. And you're right, areas like Florida, where I'm originally from, are still licking their wounds, and there's a lot of hesitation. I mean, when you see a market crash and lose 70–80% of its value, you know, you're not going to have those big run-ups. Also, I do want to mention that some markets really are in danger of overheating, particularly along the West Coast. There was an article last week in the Seattle Times that said that Seattle prices have officially surpassed the highest prices that we saw during the boom. So I think that we do need to keep an eye on some of this. Is that
your definition of frothy?
That's pretty frothy to me.
Yeah, not just the caffeine. All right, guys, thank you very, very much. To follow up on an earlier point I was mentioning as we're getting this